Hey everyone, I'm Darren from Telltale.
Hi, I'm Katy, Bentz, content creator and voice actor.
Today we're talking exclusively about episode 1. If you have not played episode 1 of the Expanse A Telltale Series, stop. Seriously, do not continue because this is full of spoilers. We do not want to ruin the experience for you. Our guest today is Zachary Andrews.
Thank you so much for being here. For folks who may not know you, could you please give us a little introduction to yourself and how you are related to the project?
My name is Zachary Andrews. I'm the Performance Director for Artemis.
Could you tell us a little bit about what a performance director does?
Performance Director works with actors on the motion capture stage and in the VO booth. I help kind of craft the form and blocking of scenes and work with actors to break down a script into its dramatic beats and then try and execute all that within this crazy limited frame of what mocap does and does not let you do.
So Zachary, I got to ask, because a huge part of episode 1 is getting to know this whole new crew. Obviously, I want to talk about the capturing these actor performances. Who is your favorite character to capture?
Virgil was maybe my favorite because he stood the stillest the most. So from a mocap perspective, he was easier than others. But I love the chemistry of the brothers, and that was our entire mocap team starting to learn what was and was not best practice for capturing interactions. Arlen put Rayan in a headlock, and I now know from a mocap perspective that is about the worst thing you can have two markered up actors do. In our post process, they join into one mess of a monstrous human, and great animators and technicians have had to pull their skeletons back apart and put them where they need to be. It's definitely a trip to sort of see how far we came in terms of what we could capture, or what we had to capture in that first episode as we met each character for the first time.
More so than previous Telltale games, reading people's faces for reactions is more subtle here. So what do you attribute to that? And were there any fun challenges to come from it?
The facial fidelity of this type of game is so important. Performance captures really come a long way. So to answer that part of the question, the tech is pretty incredible, and the facial recognition software that is used all over the place is being used in this case to capture micro expressions. We also have animators who are taking the intention of an expression that sort of gets a little bit tamped in the post-production process, and then they polish it back up so that it really sings. It's it's this great kind of collaboration of taking an actor's performance and crystallizing it as it moves its way through our pipeline so that it comes out how everybody pictured it in their mind. We had great actors throughout. We had Cara Gee obviously helming the thing and setting a standard of professionalism and commitment that everybody in the room rose to. But we also just had really talented local actors, people I've worked with in the theater, people I've known for a long time, people I didn't know who just came in and learned the process, learned the limited frame of what you could do, and then just crushed it.
Actually, speaking of that, because obviously Cara Gee comes in and she was on the show and she's accustomed to acting in 0G and kind of conveying that. How is that for the other actors who hadn't done that sort of thing before, and how does that work into the mocap process?
Yeah, gravity was a whole to-do in The Expanse from the very first episode. What's cool about the show and what's cool about the fans of the show is it's such hard sci-fi. The Newtonian physics of it applies, and you have to kind of honor. We are lucky that the universe of The Expanse gave us mag boots, but Cara immediately drop the hammer on what you could and could not do in mag boots. You could not, you can't pivot, you can't rock back and forth, you can't have happy shuffly feet. You wouldn't duck behind something in a gunfight. Your gravity doesn't help you sink to the ground. You'd be grabbing the backs of your legs and pulling to get your body to go down. So she just made us really honor, in the same way that the show honored the realities of navigating 0G with only this made up tech. The show, and consequently our game, makes up as few rules as we can, and we just took the gift of mag boots and really ran with it.
Speaking of other actors, other characters, which new characters were the most fun for you to work with, and what should players look for from those characters this season?
I really loved working with Lily Hokama, who played Khan. Khan is such a well-stamped character from the very beginning. She was also a really hard role to cast. And Lily is a young actor who just has a lot of presence and was able to drop into the voice and bring all the sass. And one of the things I love about the whole kind of form of these games, narrative adventure games, is when you kind of look around, if you explore the world deeply enough, you find artifacts and connections, things that deepen your relationship, the things that branch a big branch of the tree that you might never have known was there if you didn't take the time to listen to a person, understand what they want, find the thing, and then have the investment to deliver it back to them. And if you do all these things, you get rewarded.
Cara Gee was very collaborative with her role on the show, working with the team there. Did she similarly help in fleshing out reactions, character, even dialogue with how Drummer acted in the game?
Cara was not the gatekeeper of what the Expanse can and cannot do, but she was very much she stood very strongly for the character of Kamina Drummer and came on the show as this really kind of small. She only had a couple of lines in her first few episodes, and then the fans latched onto her and loved her, and the writers loved writing for her. So she hard edged this character over 6 seasons. And now we're actually going back to a point where we are seeing Kamina Drummer become the Kamina Drummer that we meet on the show. And so she was really game to play with who Drummer was, but she was so generous about it.
So, what is your favorite toughest choice from episode 1?
This episode ends with a mutiny. And in that mutiny, you have this dude who just tried to kill you and then eulogize you, and you come back in and it's what is the first thing that you say? I think everyone's so jazzed up, they're gonna be choice, yeah, shoot him, kill him.
Yeah.
But I think there is this tension that exists in that scene and exists in those idols where I hope you think about how you're gonna eat this guy for lunch. I think it's a really cool way to end the first episode, where not only did you meet everyone, but then we end getting them all together, and you get to decide how to administer some justice. And either way, the episode ends with suddenly someone is calling you captain.
Yeah.
And I think it's the lead up to the next major choice that I get really jazzed about.
Thank you all so much for tuning in and watching this first episode with us. We really appreciate it. And stay tuned because we're about to show you a sneak peek teaser of episode 2 of The Expanse, A Telltale Series.
We don't have much time.
There is no sense in running anymore.
You're not allowed to die on me, Kamina Drummer, because I'm not losing the one person in the belt I give a shit about.